Please be seated. When I go somewhere new, whether it be traveling for business or fun or relocating, I always try to check out the area where I'm going to be. Nowadays, I will go online and get some sense of that region, that place. Or I'll talk with people and I'll find out what's important there. I'll see what kind of activities people do. I'll see what the weather is like so I know how to pack. And I will decide some things that I will do while I'm there. And I'll try to do things that are specific to that particular place. I do that when I'm traveling. I did that when I came here. Began to do little things around here and there. One of the things that I usually will do is I will begin to look around at places to eat, restaurants. And I particularly like if it's a different region or a different area where they have a specific cuisine. I will begin to look at the restaurants in the area that serve that food. Because I want to get a sense and a taste of that area. And one way to do that is through the food. Now, if I'm relocating, as when I came here, one of the great challenges for me is that folks will come up and say, let's meet so-and-so place, or here's a place you ought to go try, or we'll read about a place and we'll go eat. And we'll find a place that I really, really like. And the challenge is that becomes the place I always want to go. Therefore, I have to push myself. Actually, I have a little help with that. Nancy helps with that some. I have to push myself to try new places because this becomes my go-to place. It's a place where I feel comfortable. It's a place where I know my belly will be filled with the food I really like. And maybe I will like the atmosphere and I'll like the people there. So I will try somehow to push myself and go other places. But that will become a go-to place, a place that I will return time and again, even if I seek out other places in between. Our gospel today is about a go-to place for food. It's that place where you get the kind of food that you really need. This gospel follows on last week's with the feeding of the 5,000. And in that, Jesus fed these folks. He had so much food, they got their bellies full. And they had doggy bags to take to other people. It was the kind of place that they really liked. It was special to them. And it was so special to them that when Jesus sneaked away, they went looking for him. They went across the sea to find him. Jesus, when did you come over here? And then Jesus calls them out. He calls them out. He says, you only came here because you need food in your belly. And you know you got your bellies full. You came here because you want to get your bellies full again. Now, if I'd been one of them, I would have probably been somewhere toward the back or in the middle, and I would have probably ducked down because somehow he found me out. And yes, that's really why I was going there. I wanted to get some good food. I was hungry. And then he says something to them that really begins to shake things up a bit. He says, you came here today looking for belly food. But what you really want and what you really need is soul food. It's soul food. You know how it is sometimes you and I get really, really hungry when our bellies are full? You know how there are times when we eat to feed our emotions or to calm ourselves or to somehow get ourselves going? Those times when we eat for reasons other than our nutrition and to fill our bellies? Sometimes those are times that you and I are looking for soul food too. Well, Jesus, where do we get this soul food? How does this happen? And he says, well, you do it, you get it by doing the work of God. And they said, well, how do we do that work? They're just not getting it yet. And so he drills it down just a little farther for them. And he looks at them and he says, you do it by believing in. And you believe in the one he sent. Well, we know our ancestors got manna from heaven. Moses gave them that food. And no, Moses didn't give them that food. That food came from God. Food for our bellies, food for our souls. There's a big difference between the two. Sometimes they're the same. Sometimes when someone offers to us a meal that is caring, a meal that is truly filled with love, we eat it and we are somehow filled not just in our bellies but in our souls. Sometimes our souls are filled when we come together in this place. We come here to get our souls filled. We serve food. Sometimes we have enough to fill your belly. But most of the time, we're about filling souls. And we do that in the service with music, and we do that with the readings, and we do that as you and I gather and process up here. And we put out our hands because our souls are hungry. And we put them out in front of us. And I put in your hand that little tiny wafer that won't fill your belly, I guarantee you. And as you come up, we don't have you sign a statement, I believe that. I believe this. We only ask that you believe in. And we leave that to you. You and I, we are in the soul food business. And you and I know that even on those times that we come up and we're just doing it out of habit or out of ritual, we know that on those occasions we can surprisingly be filled. And on those occasions when that hunger is so strong we can't deny it, we know that something happens with us because we dare to believe in. We feed each other, and God feeds us all. It is from this that you and I get the strength for our journey. It is from this that you and I are sustained and strengthened and energized. And it is from this that God makes us His witnesses in this world, that we may feed others on His behalf. Even as your bellies get hungry, come and have your souls filled. Even when your bellies are full, come and get sustenance from the journey. And know that you have met Christ in a new place, and you're being transformed in His name. Amen.